Hi, John from the Water eStore here, and I simplify water filtration to help you conquer crappy water for you and your family. Has your water softener stopped using salt, or maybe it's using far more salt than normal? Maybe water from your water softener keeps on running down the drain, or has it stopped softening your water altogether? Where do you even start to troubleshoot this thing? I'm going to share my expert water softening troubleshooting repair tips so that you can fix your water softener like a pro. Before I even get to the first tip, I'll just remind you that the first thing you should always check is if your water softener has power. You'd be surprised how often they accidentally get unplugged, the circuit breaker got tripped, or some other issue like that happens. Tip number 1. Understand how your water softener works. It's important to understand how a water softener works conceptually. As they say, you can't fix something unless you know how it works. So if you're not up to speed, check out Gary's video before you go any further. I'll put a link in the description below. Tip number 2, test your water's hardness. Test your water's hardness before and after the water softener. You'll need to test both the hot and the cold water after the water softener. The water after your water softener should have a hardness of 0 or 1. If your water before the water softener has a hardness of 10 or 12 or whatever, and the hardness after the water softener is the same, that tells you that your water softener isn't working at all. However, if the hardness is different between the cold and hot water, that likely tells us that you're running out of capacity early. If you're not sure how to test your water for hardness, Gary's got a great YouTube video that shows you how. You can click up here or check out the link in the description below. Tip number 3, check your settings. You need to check your settings to make sure they're correct. This video up here shows you how to determine the hardness setting based on your water test results. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. Also, if you're looking for the hardness test strips, you can order them from our website. I'll put a link in the description below for those as well. Tip number 4, check some basic maintenance items. Has the water softener been using about the same amount of salt recently as it always did? If it's using more than usual, then you might have a toilet or some other water appliance running. Keep in mind that the more water that runs through your water softener, the more salt you'll use. Modern metered water softeners like our Hume water softener will show you if water's being used in your home. To test it, make sure no one in your home is using any water. Check the display to see if the water softener senses any flow. If it does, you've got a leak somewhere and you need to find it and fix it. If your water softener is using far less salt than usual, then you might have a salt clog. This video shows you how to fix that, and I'll also put a link in the description below. Tip number 5, deep clean the media. If the media inside the water softener has been compromised, you might need to do a deep cleaning by using a product like ResCare. This is necessary if you've been running your water softener without salt, with a salt clog, or using it to remove excess amounts of iron and manganese from your water. This video shows you how. I'll put a link in the description below. Also, the brine tank should be cleaned out periodically, so if yours hasn't been anytime recently, now would be a great time to make sure the bottom of yours isn't filled with dirt. We also have a video on how to do that. Check it out here. Tip number 6, check the brine tank. If there's far more water in the brine tank than usual, you could have a clogged injector or compromised pistons. This video of Gary's shows you how to troubleshoot and repair that concern. Usually when that happens, the injector's clogged and you just need to clean and replace the injector. We've got a great YouTube video that shows you how to do that. Tip number 7, check the meter. If the meter no longer measures how much water you're using, it won't tell your water softener when to regenerate. If you have a blank display on your water softener, the meter definitely won't be working. This video will show you how to do that. If the display is lit up and you run some water through the water softener, but the display shows no flow, you'll need advice from this video to get that fixed. We'll also put the link in the description below. Tip number 8, check for water flow issues. If you've noticed that your water flow in your home has slowly become worse, it might mean that your water softener media is partially clogged and restricting your water flow. You can quickly check it out by bypassing the water softener and following the advice from this video. Tip number 9, check for odors. Does the water softener stink like garbage? You'll need to disinfect the media by following the process outlined in this video. And as always, we'll put a link in the description below. Tip number 10, check for salty taste. Does your softened water suddenly taste salty? This video outlines how you can troubleshoot and fix that for your family. Tip number 11, check for slimy water. We sometimes get concerns about the water feeling slimy after regeneration. This video will help you troubleshoot that and offer some great solutions. Tip number 12, check for continuous draining. Do you hear water running to the drain while the water softener is in service? Or does it keep going into an error code whenever it goes through a regeneration cycle? If so, the valve likely needs to be rebuilt. If you have one of our Hume or any Clack valve water softeners, it isn't as difficult as it sounds. This video goes through the process in detail. Tip number 13, replace the media. If your water softener uses the salt, goes through its cycles correctly, but it still doesn't give you soft water, then the media likely needs to be replaced. Check out this video to learn about that whole process. If it's time to replace that water softener for you and your family, I definitely encourage you to check out our website, waterestore.com in the US and waterestore.ca in Canada. We offer free shipping and discount pricing. Click here for your next video on water softener troubleshooting, and we'll see you there. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please add them below. Thanks for watching.